music industry. Our platform offers really honest and up-to-date information and content around the African music sector through our online portal, where artists can network amongst themselves.
The IFCD grant is supporting our project to build a web portal which will feature the best of East African dance artists. And the aim is to connect them to each other, but also to connect them to dance markets. We're giving young people new skills. We're opening up networking opportunities for them.
The IFCD is also enabling a network of creatives while enhancing regional and South-South cooperation to drive the creative economy. The work of the IFCD is made possible thanks to the support of parties to the 2005 Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expressions, as well as generous contributions from the private sector and individuals who believe in the power of creativity. Together, we are fulfilling our mission to drive sustainable development through the cultural and creative industries. Culture and creativity are the heartbeat of our societies. Is a priority for UNESCO. Africa is a priority for UNESCO and the International Fund for Cultural Diversity, the IFCD. Africa's cultural and creative industries offer enormous potential to drive economic growth and promote inclusive and sustainable development across the continent. The creative economy generates decent jobs and income opportunities, especially for women, youth, and vulnerable groups. The IFCD works by supporting local, regional, and national initiatives that fuel the global creative economy, especially those in Africa. From reinforcing entrepreneurship in Guinea's audiovisual, fashion, and design sectors, to promoting cinema as a form of expression among youth in Madagascar, to opening new markets and revenue streams for African musicians. Since 2010, 40% of IFCD projects have invested in Africa and have brought about real change for its communities.
We recently implemented a project called Revenue Streams for African Musicians to service the African music industry. Our platform offers really honest and up-to-date information and content around the African music sector through our online portal, where artists can network amongst themselves.
The IFCD grant is supporting our project to build a web portal which will feature the best of East African dance artists. And the aim is to connect them to each other, but also to connect them to dance markets. We're giving young people new skills. We're opening up networking opportunities for them.
The IFCD is also enabling a network of creatives while enhancing regional and South-South cooperation to drive the creative economy. The work of the IFCD is made possible thanks to the support of parties to the 2005 Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expressions, as well as generous contributions from the private sector and individuals who believe in the power of creativity. Together, we are fulfilling our mission to drive sustainable development through the cultural and creative industries. Culture and creativity are the heartbeat of our societies. Africa is a priority for UNESCO and the International Fund for Cultural Diversity, the IFCD. Africa's cultural and creative industries offer enormous potential to drive economic growth and promote inclusive and sustainable development across the continent. The creative economy generates decent jobs and income opportunities, especially for women.
John, it's muted. Can you check the audio, please?
Oh, okay. That shouldn't be. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but we can't hear the video.
You can't hear the video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
If you want to stop sharing and reshare and
Yes.
check the audios, yeah.
Can you hear the audio now? Now.
Not okay. Yes, it's loud and clear.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ ẹ̀yin aládùúgbò mi. Bí a ti ń múra láti gbádùn ọdún ojúde ọba yìí, orin tó ń bọ̀ ní lágbájá kóńkó bìlò.
Ṣé bàtà ẹ pàdé mi nísàlẹ̀ lẹ́lẹ́lẹ́lẹ́lẹ́ ẹ pàdé mi nísàlẹ̀ ẹ pàdé mi nísàlẹ̀ ẹ pàdé mi ní kóńgó kó kóńgó kó kóńgó kó kóńgó ṣe bí naija nìyẹn o sísí ó ṣe wá ń gbẹ̀sẹ̀ bí òyìnbó. Bongo, 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 bongo. Ó sì fàṣàn kan tójú tí a lọ ìró àti bùbá yẹn pẹ̀lú gèlè skóńtó ló. Gèlè ọdún bí kámọ̀ ọ̀wé kò dàbí kó yẹ ní. Gèlè ọdún bí kámọ̀ ọ̀wé kò dàbí kó yẹ ní.
Wo Fúnkẹ́, má dá mi dúró, mo ti pẹ́, mo fẹ́ lọ fún lẹ́jọ́.
Ṣé torí mi lẹ lọ gẹ́gẹ́lé? Ṣé torí mi lẹ lọ gẹ́gẹ́lé skẹ́tẹ́lẹ̀? Àbí torí wọn lẹ gẹ́gẹ́lé skẹ́tẹ́lẹ̀? Wọ́n bá ṣe torí mi lẹ gẹ́gẹ́lé. Iná ayé ìlẹ̀ mi kóńtóló. Onígèlè yìí ẹjọ́ máa onígèlè yìí ẹjọ́ máa onígèlè yìí ẹjọ́ máa kí ló dé ó ti lọ́wọ́ àjíbẹ́bí ẹ̀yà máa fi gbá wà lójú. Onígèlè yìí ẹjọ́ máa onígèlè yìí ẹjọ́ máa onígèlè yìí ẹjọ́ máa.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's. Please, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can. And we can see you too.
Can see me too. Thank you. It's an opportunity to be here, and we'll be starting. Let me first welcome everyone. But before I hand over to the host and welcome everyone to this meeting, it promises to be an amazing one. So our host for today is Dr. Olumuyiwa A. Akonde. He is our host, and Muyiwa Akonde coordinates tourism and development program at the Department of Sustainability Studies, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. As multi and interdisciplinary researcher, he lectures and practices tourism. He has more than 23 years experience as both administrative and academic staff at the premier university in Nigeria, that is the University of Ibadan. He has published a number of scholarly articles, book chapters, and edited books in topics that include gender in tourism, sustainable tourism, cultural tourism, international tourism, and human well-being. He has presented action-based research papers on tourism, hospitality, gender treatment, migration, and cultural diversity at both local and international conferences. He was recognized as one of the most cited authors by Wiley Publishers in 2023. He belongs to various international professional and research organizations, including Dance Studies Association USA, International Sustainable Development Summit Sweden, and Association of Nigerian University Professional Administrators, among others. He founded Golden Pearls Helpers Foundation, Nigeria and USA, to apply indigenous strategies to sustainable development goals. He has received commendation letters from the management of the University of Ibadan at various times for his wonderful contributions to research and development. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Dr. Olumuyiwa Akande as our host. Thank you so much, sir. I yield my mic to you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Greetings to everybody, especially the academic community, the cultural community. It's going to be a very pleasant evening for all of us here because we want to talk about what binds all of us together as a people, that is culture. We are marking in the name of the graduate scholars, we are marking the UNESCO celebration of the World Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development. It has been observed that 89% of the current conflicts in the world occurring in countries with low intercultural dialogue. To forge effective cooperation and sustain peace, strengthening intercultural dialogue, which is a priority. That is to say, most of the conflicts all over the world are being generated by cultural issues, religious issues, and other issues that have to do with how we relate with ourselves. The UNESCO declare every 21st May as World Cultural Diversity Day to enable us recognize both tangible and intangible assets that we have as a people. And today, we are going to bring some experts, professionals, practitioners, those that are in the field of culture. We are bringing them to fore to ask them the way forward. How can we get the best out of what we have, the tangible resources that we have in terms of culture and the intangible components of our culture. Let me start by introducing, we have some objectives for this event. The objectives are very clear. We want to evaluate the socio-cultural landscape in Africa and its expression to determine the most pressing issues of concern. As a nation, as a continent, we want to look at the cultural issues that can actually bring sustainable development, lasting development, development that will not jeopardize the interest of both living and non-living things, that will protect even the environment. We want to see whether this platform will advocate for policies and regulations that can. The African continent has a thriving creative industry in forms of festivals, in forms of films, in form of artworks. How are we going to get the best out of this? Then we want to look at Africa's cultural heritage. How can we promote Africa's cultural heritage at all levels of governance and among policymakers? We have something to promote, and that is culture. And no culture is superior. So we have to promote it. But before we start the promotion, we need to identify what are the cultural assets that we have. So that is one of the objectives for this. Then we want to see how we can build collaboration between governments and civil society with international organizations to design and fund culture-based initiatives. We want to see how we can get partners that will work with us so that some of these cultural heritage assets, tangible and intangible, that we have identified or we may identify, how can we going to How are we going to convert them to assets indeed that will ginger development? I have 4 guests before me this evening, and they are eminent individuals in the field of culture and tourism. I have Professor Abel Joseph. I have Dr. Wasil Adewale Olatunbosun, is the Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Oyo State, Nigeria. And I have Dr. Toyin Ogunshina. Dr. Toyin Ogunshina is a cultural expert. She's a performance expert from the Lee City University. And I have Miss Titi Kushimo. I will go briefly over their citation. Professor Abel Joseph holds a PhD in African literature, is a professor of African literature in the Department of English and Literary Studies, Federal University, Lokoja. He is a literary and dramatic critic, is an historian and theorist. He has Bachelor's of Arts degree and Master's of Arts degree and a PhD in African literature from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He has been engaged in lecturing and research for more than 20 years. He attended and presented papers in a number of seminars and international conferences and workshops across universities in Nigeria and abroad. Professor Abel Joseph, his research interest has been to explore and analyze through literature how cultural or political currents are commonly thrown open in multi-ethnic and politically diverse nations and polities. He has been actively engaged in the supervision of undergraduate and postgraduate students and has been an external examiner to many universities. In 1997, he was a resource person for the United Nations Development Programme, that is United Nations Development Programme Center for Social and Economic Research, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, for the sensitization workshop on State's Vision Plan of Development. In 2012, he was a visiting scholar at the Commonwealth Center for the Humanities and Society, University of Louisville, United States of America, on contemporary American literature. He was also on sabbatical at the Nasarawa State University, Kevi, in 2012-2013 academic session. He belongs to a number of professional associations, such as the African Literature Association, ALA, and Northeast Modern Language Association, NEMLA. Apart from lecturing, he is involved in community services and has held a number of administrative positions within the university, including Dean Students Affairs, Federal University, Lokoja. That was 2017 to 2021. He was a member of the University Third Governing Council. He is actually a current member from 2020 to 2025 and Director, School of General Studies, Federal University, Lokoja, 2021 to date. He is an honorary citizen of the city of Louisville, Kentucky, United States of America, and President, U.S. Exchange Alumni, Kogi Chapter. He is passionately engaged in youth and advocacy and even mentoring. Welcome, Professor Abel Joseph. The second guest that we have today is Dr. Wasil Adewale Olatunbosun. Dr. Wasil Adewale Olatunbosun is the Honorable Commissioner, Oyo State Ministry of Culture and Tourism. He was born on 11 January 1964 to the family of late Alhaji Rauf Olatunbosun of Ibikunle Dynasty, Ayeye, Ibadan. Wasil Adewale Olatunbosun is a dogged politician, educationist, and forthright administrator from Ibadan Northwest Local Government, Oyo State. A former lecturer at the famous Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye, Ogun State. Young Olatunbosun commenced his educational career with post-primary education career at Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo, where he earned his West African School Certificate with good grades. He thereafter proceeded to the foremost University of Ibadan, where he earned his bachelor degree in education and language arts. Young Adewale Olatunbosun's test to further his educational pursuit led him back to the University of Ibadan, where he finished his master's degree in communication and language arts. He did not stop at that, as the cerebral lover of education also did his postgraduate diploma and master's in mass communication at the University of Lagos, Akoka. Afterwards, Mr. Wasiu Olatunbosun got his art and PhD from Babcock University, Ilisan Remo, Ogun State. As a journalist, Dr. Olatunbosun caught his professional feet at the indigenous broadcasting station of Oyo State, where he worked as assistant news editor from 1995 to 1996. In 1997, his unrelenting quest to impact knowledge led him to University of Ibadan, where he worked as an associate lecturer, General Examination Center. In 1999, he became an assistant information officer with Ibadan Southwest local government. Dr. Olatunbosun returned to teaching career at the Polytechnic Ibadan in 2003, where he grew many of today's journalists at the Department of Mass Communication. Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun's political career took off at Ibadan Northwest local government, where he got elected as the councillor representing Ward 5. His passion for change and development of the Nigerian political scenery has led him to be an active participant in the political trajectory in Oyo State. He was appointed as the caretaker chairman Ibadan Northwest local government in 2011. At that time, till 2016, Olatunbosun embarked on several grassroots projects that has endeared him to political stalwarts and stakeholders at the local government. He was one of the principal actors of coalition parties that worked for Governor Seyi Makinde victory in 2019, who, after winning the gubernatorial election in 2019, appointed him as the Commissioner for Information, Culture, and Tourism in Oyo State. As a commissioner, Dr. Olatunbosun embarked on many transformative projects at the Ministry of Information. Chief among them is the establishment of Alori Online Radio, a proud feat, you will say. Currently, Olatunbosun is the Honorable Commissioner in a newly created Ministry of Culture and Tourism. He is a grassroots mobilizer par excellence and renowned facilitator of many political jingles and campaigns that led to the victory of his principles in Oyo State. Dr. Olatunbosun has participated in many field work and sponsored researches. He has served in numerous capacities in various professional bodies and associations and has received an array of awards. Dr. Olatunbosun also has to his credit many academic publications and papers in reputable and international journals. He is happily married with children. Help me to welcome Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun, the Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Oyo State. The third speaker is Dr. Toyin Ogunshina. Dr. Toyin Ogunshina is a lecturer at the Leeds City University. Dr. Ogunshina's academic and professional career started at the Leeds. Dr. Ogunshina, an academic and a professional who exhibits efficient scholarly and management skills. She is the current head of the Department of Performing Arts, Music and Film Studies, Leeds City University, Ibadan. She was an acting head of Department Mass Communication, Hallmark University, Ijebu-Itele, Ogun State. Her excellent written and verbal communication skills and ability to work independently, confidently, and optimistically with little or no supervision earned her the position of academic coordinator at Leicester School of Languages in Lagos. While there, she exhibited strong leadership ability and organizational skills that reveal a practical understanding of effective curriculum delivery, meeting targets and benchmarks without compromising quality. equipped with a wide range of different cultures, lifestyles, and views. She achieved 80% success in 2 months of curricular development, on-site and online training in international and national languages for young adults. She collaborated effectively with other schools and provided exemplary leadership and communication skills using different communication techniques to design, expand, supervise, and support education syllabi and practicum for learners and tutors' pragmatic evaluation. Dr. Ogunshina Toyin is a multi-talented senior professional offering over 20 years commendable work experience spanning the private and public sectors. She is a top performing human resource generalist with a track record of success in developing and administering human resource plans and procedures. Her zeal for creative resourcefulness, entrepreneurial services, development, and passion for the arts, entertainment, and tourism development industries as well. Dr. Ogunshina is a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management. She obtained a PhD in theater arts, a Master's of Arts degree in English language, and Master's degree in managerial psychology, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in theater arts. All her degrees are from the University of Ibadan. She has published works in local and international journals. She has contributed chapters to books, directed and critiqued literary works. She participated in services within and outside the university. She attended and organized conferences within and outside Nigeria. Her taste for creative and resourceful innovations and her various awards, such as the 2024 LSA Travel Grant, PKC Award for Most Creative Resourceful Staff, promoting the ethics, integrity, and value of teaching profession. She has a certificate of honor for commendable nurturing of globally competitive youth and best curricular activities. Help me to welcome Dr. Toyin Ogunshina, an accomplished dramatist and lecturer. Finally, let me introduce Ms. Titi Kushimo. Mrs. Titi Kushimo is the fourth speaker today. She is popularly known as Titi Kush. She's a seasoned moderator, public speaker, corporate commercial, voice-over artist, writer, poet, and women's leadership enthusiast. She started her career in mainstream broadcast media as a reporter, news presenter, and program anchor, where she cut her teeth in the field of journalism, hosting a female personality interview show that is called Leading Women. She also championed and directed social change interventions through media campaigns and sensitizations, one of which was a UNICEF-backed intervention towards the eradication of female genital mutilation in southwestern Nigeria. As a corporate comrade, her presence, personality, and style combined to leave a remarkable impression on diverse audiences. This has earned her successful event hosting experiences with remarkable brands such as Dangote Industries Limited, the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAM, the Oyo State Government, and many other notable corporate organizations. She was recognized as an outstanding corporate compere in the year 2024 by the alumni community of her alma mater, University of Ibadan. She was also nominated by the prestigious Blinks Award 2024 in the category of Corporate Compere of the Year. Titi Kushimo is the author of Not a Perfect Story, published by Savary Publishers. The non-fiction series tells a witty account of what it means to come of age as a young lady in the global south. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science and a Master of Arts degree in Peace, Security, and Humanitarian Studies. She is a gender advocate with a certificate in Gender and Development from the Policy Innovation Center. In 2023, she received a Woman Empowerment and Gender Equality Advocacy Award of recognition from the Young African Leadership Initiative, Yali, Oyo State Chapter. Titi Kush has working experience in the tech sector with an understanding of driving reform initiatives, community engagement, knowledge management, and communication, monitoring and evaluation, as well as effective storytelling for social change. She is passionate about driving social inclusion and development through Afro consciousness, which prompted her to establish Semirela, an African-based storytelling and entrepreneurship outfit. Semirela staged the first Afro literary fashion concert in Nigeria, a creative fusion of arts, literature, and fashion aimed at promoting peace and development. She is a certified project manager from the Global Institute of Project Management and an associate member of the Society for Peace Studies and Practice. Please help me to welcome Titi Kushimo. It's a pleasure to have all these guests here this afternoon. Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun, it's our pleasure to have you here. Some of us key into the radio program that was aired in the morning at the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, and we were able to get 1 or 2 points that could drive the cultural industry and the creative industry in Oyo State, in Nigeria, forward. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and anywhere that you are hearing us and that you can monitor or be on this platform. It's my pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for inviting me. So it's I'm cool to be among you who steer the ship of academia, and I would like to also be a good student so that I can tap from your wealth of experience and be able to get 1 or 2 things done. I mean, I will note all the points that I can get or gather here so that it can be part of me. So I can see when you are reading through the resume of a participant, I can see that least qualified to be here because those people that you have read their resume show that only fortunate to be among this caliber of people. So to me, I'm cool. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. You are really a very smart person. You want to be learning from us with all the degrees that you have. That's really smart of you, sir. Let me welcome Professor Abel Joseph. Professor Abel Joseph, are you there with us, sir?
Yes, I'm with you.
So
can you hear me?
We have some words from you, sir? We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. It's been a very beautiful day. I want to thank you for this very exciting introduction that you have done, going through our profiles. I'm thankful to be here. I'm grateful to be here for this opportunity and to discuss and to be among these panelists this evening to discuss issues on cultural diversity and dialogue. So I'm here with you, and it's a pleasure, and I want to thank the organizers for finding me worthy to be a part of this very ennobling program.
You're welcome, sir. Let
Thank
me, receive Dr. Toyin Ogunshina. Are you there with us, ma? Dr. Ogunshina, are you with us? Okay, while we are waiting for her, is Mrs. Titi Kushimo there?
Mrs. Kushimo is currently
Titi
driving.
Kushimo.
She sent us a message to say she's driving and she will join us shortly.
Dr. Gushino.
No, I mean Mrs. Kushimo, but Dr. Gushino was unmuted. She was about to speak.
Okay, Dr. Gushino, you have the floor. Dr. Tony Ogushino, you have the floor, man. Can you? Okay. Maybe whenever she comes online, we'll see how we can bring her in. Let me go back to quickly introduce again what we are here to do this evening. We are here to celebrate culture. We are here to celebrate our heritage, both tangible and intangible one. And we are very grateful to UNESCO for making 21st May the Day of Cultural Diversity. Cultural diversity is an attempt to recognize religion, to recognize language, to recognize people's way of life as what could bring endanger or that could add to development. That is what cultural diversity is. And every 21st day of May, we are to celebrate it. And to this year, we want to look at how cultural diversity can actually promote sustainable development. We have 17 sustainable development. Goal 1 is about poverty eradication. Goal 2 is reducing hunger. Goal 3 is about well-being. We have so many other goals, some on education. How are we going to bring our culture to benefit from these 17 sustainable development goals that have been set globally for different nations? How are we going to get the best out of it? That is why we are here this evening. And just as I've told you, cultural diversity is talking about equality, is talking about giving access to everybody, every religion, every language, accommodating everybody to come and express themselves. And many countries have actually developed or are developing through these efforts, like India, like China. They have actually leveraged on their culture to bring genuine, sustainable, lasting development. Let me start from Professor Joseph Abel. Professor Abel, good evening again, sir.
Thank you.
Professor Abel, good evening, sir.
Thank you. I'm here with you.
Yeah. Based on your experience as an African literature scholar, we have gone through your publications, your research efforts, community engagement. How does the dominance of colonial languages like English in African literary and academic spaces impact the preservation and development of indigenous languages and cultural narratives? In essence, what are the impacts of these foreign languages on our own indigenous languages?
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Once again, I thank all the participants for being here. The question of language and how, from your question, if I get it correctly, you're asking about three things which I've seen here. You're talking about dominance, you're talking about the impact, you're talking about language and cultural narratives. Yeah, the debate and the politics about language in African literature didn't start today. It's been on for quite a number of years. It began from around 1962 in Kampala, in this Conference of African Literature, where the famous Kenyan writer Ngugi wa Thiong'o posed the question, what is African literature? You know, and before then, there have been several debates about how do we decolonize African literature and use African languages, for example, to teach our own students. You know, but then the matter became a bit protracted, and up to now, this debate has been unending, because what kind of language should writers use, for example, in their work? You know, some people said, and there are two groups, the radical revolutionaries and then the liberal those who opposed, who had the liberal view. And the radical proponents, well, the view that no, if we are decolonizing the Department of English, for example, we would have to decolonize completely. And what does it mean to decolonize completely? Let us go back to our own indigenous language, you know, and then use our own native indigenous languages in writing our literature, in writing our books, in telling our stories, because the argument is that when you take the language away from people, you take away their essence, you take away their dignity, you take away their humanity. And so let us use our indigenous language, you know. So you find people like Ngugi wa Thiong'o on that, you know, that lane. And then you find others who say no. Of course, the colonialists have colonized us. They've imposed their foreign language on us. They've imposed their own cultural values on us. But there's something we can learn. And this is why people like Achebe will argue that, look, the English language is a foreign language, but it can still be used. We can domesticate it. We can nativize it. We can humble it. We can use it to express our own opinions and express our own views. And therefore, language can be used in all forms. For those who argue that, for like Ngugi, for example, who has argued that, look, that language, he wants to be writing in his native language. And then there's a problem there. Problem is, for how long will you be writing in your native language? And how many people are actually educated and lettered in your own native language to be able to understand what you're writing? He tried that. In some of his writings, The Trial of the Dankemati, I'll Marry When I Want, he did all that. At the end of the day, he wrote the literature in Gikuyu, but it had to be translated later to English. You understand? And so there's a problem, you know. But however protracted the problem is, our own view is that, look, we can use, yes, English language is dominant. We can use English language, we can domesticate it. We can use it to express our cultural narratives. And so that is the argument that most contemporary African writers are doing at the moment, because if you discover these young contemporary African writers that are coming up, very few of them are using native language. But again, we can't run away from English. So we can use it for our own benefit. And that's my take on it.
I'll still come
back.
Okay, I'll still come back to you, because I could see that actually some efforts have been made in that perspective.
Yes.
We can say somebody like Wole Soyinka using what he called Yoruba English, where,
yes,
for example, in one of his novels, he said, I took a rapid dialogue with my leg.
Yes.
Any native Yoruba speaker, we know that Mobese Misoro is just Yoruba. And we have some dramatists like Amos Tutuola, who was practically writing English in Yoruba. So we have seen some progress, but just as you have said, the contemporary writers seem not to be in touch with it again.
Yeah, it's interesting that it might interest you to know that when Amos Tutuola wrote that The Palm Wine Drinker in 1952, not many Africans were very proud of him. And, you know, because when that text came out, it was written in an English that was said to be rotten English. And before now, the European anthropologists and the colonizers, part of the things that they used against Africa was that, look, Africa was a backward continent. They were not educated. They were uncivilized. They needed to be educated and all that. And here we are with Amos Tutuola writing The Palm Wine Drinker in some kind of English that people were laughing. And the Africans who were reading the text at that time said, no, what Amos Tutuola had done was to validate the opinion of the Europeans. But I can tell you that today, Amos Tutuola's work is one of the most celebrated in African literature and has formed the foundation for what is today called magical realism. What was being laughed at that point when it first came out is now being celebrated. And it's interesting how Amos Tutuola has been able to navigate his way, taking from Yoruba oral narratives, folktales, and all that, to build that story. It's not just a story for entertainment. There's a huge lesson. And there are other young Nigerians who are also taking up from that point of using cultural stories or stories from their tradition to talk about contemporary Nigerian situation. There's a young Nigerian called Chigozie Obioma who's been writing. I don't know if some of us here must have come across The Fisherman or Orchestra of Minorities. And when you read those books, it's interesting how he has been able to go back to tradition, to culture, to apprehend those cultures and then to write them and make them very contemporary. So there's no way we can run away from using English language as a medium of expression, particularly in our literary engagement. It may be difficult, but people may argue about it, but there's no way because, yes, Nigerians have talked about, people like Soyinka, they've talked about it, Soyinka's use of language, for example, is out of this world because he takes from the Yoruba fauna and he makes it come alive. When you read Death and the King's Horseman, one of his plays, for example, he takes directly from the Yoruba ritual death. And how he has used that language is amazing. And so Nigerians, people have argued, okay, can we use Wazobia, for example, as a national language? Others will say, no, Nigerians are able to use Pidgin English. Can we use Pidgin English? But there are people who speak Pidgin, but they can't read it. So where do we go
back to you, Prof? We are really at home with the topic. I could see Dr. Tony Ogunshina. Dr. Ogunshina, you are welcome, ma. Hello, ma. Dr. Tony Ogunshina. Hello, ma. Can you say some words? Hello, ma. We can't hear you, ma.
She needs to unmute.
Unmute yourself. Hello, Dr. Ogunshina. Okay. Dr. Ogunshina, while she is here to unmute, let me go to the Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Oyo State, Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun. Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun, are you there, sir?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, Dr. Tony Ogunshina.
I'm here.
Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
You are just coming from, or let me say, recovering from Egungun Festival, which everybody actually enjoyed. So what is this Egungun Festival about, and what has it to contribute to the issue of cultural diversity? Why are you doing it? You are known to be a Muslim.
Yes. Thank you very much, and my greetings to all my ogas and mamas on the platform. Yes, the Egungun Festival is better addressed here under the cultural diversity. What brought this? So I'm an indigenous of Ibadan, and I grew up, born, bred, and grew up here. The only time I went out was when I had my secondary school education at Olivet for you. So, and from there, I had my youthful years in Ibadan. So, and when we were young, especially during our maybe late 60s, that is 65, 67, 68, when we were very young, till hardly, late 70s, we used to follow Egunguns. Egungun in Ibadan. Egunguns in Ibadan then perform 2 roles. And up till now, they perform 2 roles. And only that the other one had been eroded. And the 2 roles they perform is spiritual, where they appease the gods for peaceful coexistence in the society. And the other one is entertainment. So for those of us who are following Egungun then, we follow Egungun because of entertainment that we derive from Egunguns. So we have variety of Egungun, over 100 Egunguns in Ibadan. So we will leave our house in the morning, come back in the evening, every day. And the thing really thrill us. So until 1982, when these politicians, to be specific, 1982, preparing for 1983 election, then Baba Bola Ige was the governor, and that's the UPN. And the MPN wanted to take Oyo State by fire, by force. So they now felt that they could just use culture, Egungun Festival, because they know that Egungun Festival was very dear to Ibadan people. So, and they infiltrated and they used Egungun, and they now introduce casting, they introduce cutlasses and axes instead of cane, batoli, that Egungun used to when we were young. So later they introduced guns, ammunitions, which because of that made many people to run away from Egungun. And by so doing, that thing allowed the religious people, that is Christian and Muslims, now capitalize on that to now preach against Egungun, saying that they should condemn Egungun in its entirety. Whereas the entertainment aspect of it is still there if it is well managed. So when I became the councillor, I decided to do something on it, but I realized that it was beyond the councillor. So when I went to Unilag to do my second master's, specifically in mass communication, I decided to do a documentary on Ibadan Egunguns. So it was during that period that I now realized that the only way we can package entertainment off from Egungun is by taking them off the street. They can use their own spiritual role. They can go around the street to perform their spiritual role, and that one should be given or should be left for the OJs and the Alagbas who are in charge, who are custodians of Egungun. But the entertainment of aspect of it, there is no way we can make people to appreciate the entertainment of Egungun if we allow it to be on the street, because there always room for confrontation among themselves. So when I say, and I say, okay, maybe if God allow me, I will make sure that we change the narrative. So when I now became the Commissioner for Information, I started using media in form of advocacy, the reason why we should use our culture to promote our economy and promote our tourism potential. So as God will have it, when the couple, culture and tourism from information, culture and tourism. So I became the pioneer commissioner. And I said, okay, this is an opportunity for me to now try if it will work. And along the line, that this powerful delegation that came from Brazil, they went to Ife and they decided to take courtesy call. And when they came, we talked, and during the discussion, they now said, Honorable Commissioner, we would like to invite you for one of the best cultural festivals in the world. And I said, okay, which festival is that? They say, Egungun Brazil, or Brazil Egungun. I say, how can Brazil be, I mean, Egungun be Brazil. The Egungun belongs to Yoruba now. Now say, no, it is theirs. And I say, okay, if you say it is yours, what is Egungun in Brazilian language? So we argue. At that point, I now put a call through to Professor Wande Abimbola, who saved the situation. And he told them point blank that 98% of Egunguns that they are parading in Brazil today, they got it for Southwest. They got it from Southwest. Southwest, they want to share Egungun here for one. So, but they now say, okay, he now said, the Oga, he called his name, I've forgotten the name. He called the Oga's name. He now said, when you are true, you can tell your Oga that, hi, Wande Abimbola said this, that they had invited him many times, and he had told them that majority of this Egungun you are parading, you got it from Nigeria and specific Yoruba. So, and I say, okay, it's because you people, you don't know how to use it. And we decided to take it away from you. So we laugh at that. And I told them that we are starting it in Oyo State. So last year, I did a pilot scheme. I decided to start it off. And to my amazement, people embrace it. Many people, different groups started showing interest that they would like to come. I said, when I started seeing that dimension is gone, and I said, okay, if that's the case, why can't we make it carnival-like, interesting? Okay, if group, Apwecon, that is in charge of engagement, should come with their dresses should be, we all agree that should be traditional outfit. Okay, why can't the engagers come in yellow? Okay, those of you hairdresser come in blue. And that's how we started. And we succeeded in giving them colors. And they went out. We didn't give them anything. They went on their way to get all this dress. And on that day that we had the festival, it was massive. So I now realized that, okay, with this, anytime we want to do it, Adamasingba would not be enough to take us. So we decided to use Liberty Stadium. So concerning the Egunguns, and I said, okay, we should not restrict ourselves to Oyo State alone. If we want to bring cultural diversity. We want to see what happened in Egungun. Let them bring their own cultural things to bear. What happened in Osun? What happened in Odo? What happened in Ekiti? So, and we started. And I realized, okay, there's no way we will restrict ourselves without bringing in very strong force of Egbe Ode Parapọ̀ worldwide. And by bringing them in, we succeeded in getting some countries, Republic of Benin, Togo, Ghana, and Cameroon, who also, especially those countries where Yoruba domicile, and they decided to come. And during that period, each contingent was given 10-15 minutes to perform. And they showcase their cultural potential. For instance, I've been in Yoruba now for over 6 years. And I've not heard about Egungun that floats on here. And you'll be surprised that it is not that they just do abracadabra. He was there and he allowed people to go under him. They crawl under him to show that nothing is under him. And that is Worobiado. That Egungun came from Lagos. from Ikorodu. I thought it is only Eyo that is Lagos has. But we saw many spectacular Egogons from Lagos, from Ogun. Each state showcased their cultural potential. So that is cultural diversity par excellence. And come and see what the contingents from the Republic of Benin brought.
The Honorable Commissioner, the Honorable Commissioner, let me commend you. You have actually done very well. And if we give you the whole evening, it will not be enough for you.
Sorry,
but let me bring Dr. Toyin Ogunshina. You have just mentioned that what you did was spectacle, the entertainment component. But I'm aware there is a particular Egungun in Ibadan land. They call that Egungun Ololu. That Ololu must not see a woman. And I want Dr. Ogunshina, she must have been in Ibadan for some time, to comment how are you going to manage that in the future? Was it that you excluded Ololu or the type
definitely.
of
Let me quickly shed light before Dr. Ogunshina comes in. Ololu is categorized as purely spiritual to appease the term. So, and since it doesn't have any element of entertainment in him, so we decided that it should just be focused on the spiritual. So we are not bringing Ololu because it is forbidden for women to see him. So, and if you look at those people who came there, majority of those people were women and youth. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Ogunshina.
Okay, I think he has answered that area. I just want to ask, we're looking at cultural diversity, and we are looking at how some of what we have as heritage, language, performances, arts can be used. And I know some scholars have propounded some ideas like negritude. You must have heard about it, tigritude. That is, a tiger must just pounce. You don't just say I'm a tiger. So you have to show what you have through culture. Then negritude too. So what are your positions about some of these supposed to be heritage that we have in terms of performances, in terms of arts, in terms of a lot of things? How are we going to make them available to other people and eventually turn it to what can bring development to our society? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can. 1 minute, Ma. Could you please, put up the audio of your other device? We notice you're connected with 2 devices. You could just reduce the volume.
So that's why I'm using the phone.
Okay, so you can put up the speaker now. You could just put up the speaker of the other device, so the echo will not feed in. Thank you, Ma.
Can you hear now? I hope it's not echoing.
It's still echoing. It's still. I think you have to just click on the speaker device, the speaker icon, and how should I put it now? Just put it off. Put the speaker off. But we can hear you loud and clear through your phone. Okay, I think it's better now, but we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you now. Please go on. Unfortunately, I think you put up the wrong audio. We can hear you.
Okay. Now, thank you, Honorable Commissioner. Okay, you just read my script now. Because when you talk about performance, you talk about performance, action, and then it is believed that performance started from a Egungun festival or ceremonies. So when you also talk about the Alarin-Ijo Theatre, which was started some years back and was later developed, performance in West Africa can be Western world was traced to ancient Greece, where the worship of Dionysus took place. It can also liken to our own performance here in Nigeria. It could be a Egungun festival, it could be Shogo worship, it could be anything. But what we find in this thing, like the Honorable Commissioner said, we have cultural diversity. Aside from the cultural diversity, we also learn to understand each other's culture, also learn to respect, yes, give respect to other people's culture. So when you talk about performance, performance includes storytelling, music, dance, the theater. And theater is a place where you go to watch. You watch the activities that takes place, that happens there, and then the performance when the performance comes up. So let's take, for example, the Ololu festival that was just said, or the Egungun. So it is believed that our ancestors come to the world to come and visit us, so we celebrate them and they pray for us. So you have the audience and you have the people that the performers. So when it comes to our cultural heritage now, it's a culture. What is culture? Culture is believed to be the mirror of the society. So when you talk about your society, you have your culture, you have your codes of conduct, you have the ethics of that particular society. So we come from the Yoruba society, we know the do's and the don'ts. We come from Igbo culture, you know the do's and the don'ts, and even if you are from the Western culture. Now, when we talk about cultural diversity or diversity in culture, we are talking about different cultures. So you have the Western world, you have the African world, you have the Sub-Sahara, even the Oyo, or what is it called now? Oyotunji. Yes, you have people. Yes, you have people in Oyotunji, which is not in Nigeria. They speak Yoruba there. They have a king, they have an Oba. They borrowed from the Yoruba tradition. If you go to Cuba, they also have an aspect where they worship Shango and they celebrate it. And they also have Yoruba names. So we are talking about different cultures. We are talking about diversity. So we don't impose one culture on the other person, but we learn. That is where the education comes from. Then we also learn about the language of a person. So we use performing arts as a tool for all these cultural diversions or diversities to bring them together through language. We bring them together through storytelling. We bring them together through music. Now you have the Afro music. When you talk about Afro music is a blend of the African music and other music. For instance, when our ancestors, the way they say it in those days in history, we are taken captive to America. You know, how can we sing the love song in a strange land? And when they sat down and they remembered Africa, where they were coming from, where they were kings before, now they are slaves. And they started nostalgia. They went back. So they were able to come up with music. Since they all came from different slave routes, they were able to form their own music. Now talk about dance. Dance is a form of expression. It's a performance. It is a culture. It tells about people, where you are coming from. Take, for example, the Conga music, or from Congo, or the one we call Palongo in those days. It's called Pal-Ongo. Pal-Ongo. But now Yorubas, we turn it to Palongo, lo someone Ema Jomo, you know, that kind of a thing. So music, dance, and drama, they play a crucial role in our culture because they are means of expression, they are means of bringing people together, they are means of collaboration. So you have people that, let's say, for example, Festac 77, where all cultures in the world were brought to Nigeria. And from that time till today, there are still some cultures that we are still practicing that emanated from that Festac 1977. Till tomorrow, they are still performing Okelangbodo, either in English or in Yoruba. And you can see it is multi-dimensional, it is multicultural. So in all these things, the art plays a very crucial role in the world. It brings life, it brings entertainment, it brings people together. It's a form of expression. When you express yourself, you collaborate, you understand, you have respect for others, you are informed. You see our organizations, our government officials, they use performance to tell people, to pass information to them. Where words will not speak, where you cannot remember, there's an adage that says that whatever you hear, you forget. But what you see, you can't easily forget. It sticks into your memory. So performance, music, fine art, all these things, they play a very crucial role. And that is why it's celebrated all over the world. And then we have a seasoned performers. There's no way you can talk about performance in Nigeria, in Africa, that you will not speak about Ogunde. You will not speak about Amos Tutuola. You will not speak about Baba Salah. You will not speak about Drola Dikbo. All these people are people who brought together the different cultures in the world because they traversed. That's why the popular theater that developed in those days that called Alarinjo is what people have transformed now, repackaged, yes. How many of us remember Papa Lolo and Jacob? How many of us remember Ayok Sarishekola? Ayok Sarishekola was doing India opera in Yoruba. Papa Lolo and Jacob. That people are now using as stand-up comedy now. They started it. So all these things that we are talking about is what brings about what we are celebrating today as a World Culture Day. Talk about clothing. Talk about just anything that is a mirror of the society. You find it in performance. So performance becomes a tool to bring together the different cultures as one.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. Let me welcome Mrs. Titi Kushimo. I don't know if she's around now.
No, she's not yet here. She's still on her way. Ibadan's traffic has held her down. So, but she'll be joining us soon. I'll let you know when she joins her.
Okay, let me go back to Professor Abel Joseph. I want to ask, sir, in what ways can African literature, either oral, written, serve as a living archive of cultural memory and resistance? How can we use African literature to preserve, to conserve, as a form of archive for what actually belongs to us? How can we use that?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Literature, as it were, is a cultural product. And as a cultural product, it apprehends social reality. It tries to represent the reality, whether it is in poetry, it is in prose fiction, it is in storytelling, or it is in dramatic plays. So what literature tries to do is to keep these representations alive. Once something is documented, once something is written, there's a sense of permanence that comes with it. And it is that sense of permanence that creates memory. And so, literary creativity, like I mentioned earlier, whether it is in dramatic performance, which is scripted, or it is poetry, or it is storytelling, in a way, they are collected through print and they stand as some kind of memory. And through literature, therefore, in any of these genres, it helps us in the preservation of history, because literature, as we know, is not just about reading books and all that, because literature doesn't just exist. It takes from the point of the reality. And so it could be politics, it could be sociology, it could be culture, it could be economics, it could be cultural. And so once literature apprehends this, it opens up a window for us either to look at our past or to look at our present or to see our future. Now, literature, apart from that, does the process of representing diverse experiences. Like Madam Toyin just pointed out as she was speaking earlier, what literature does is that it takes from different places, different ideas, different characters. And these people come either from different cultural backgrounds or from different social experiences or from different political experiences. And then they come together in a novel or a play or a poem. And so what these writers do is to showcase them, highlighting these dynamics. Because in a story, for example, you may find that there are people who have come from different backgrounds. So literature represents. And finally on this, literature also helps in the process of what I call cultural, the sustenance of cultural values. Now, what people like Achebe did in 1958 when Things Fall Apart is today being celebrated. 1958 to 2005, 2025 is so many years we're talking about here. And so the myths, the African, the values, the norms, the beliefs, what Achebe did in that text is to create a culture. Whether we like it or not, it is already there. And believe you me that Things Fall Apart has been translated into more than 100 languages internationally. And what is it? What was the point that Achebe was making in Things Fall Apart? And how does it represent a cultural artifact? Because he made a point. He said, things fall apart. Why did things fall apart? You know, before the Europeans came, their assumption is that Africa had no culture, had no civilization, had no, everything was like, according to this philosopher Hegel. Hegel said Africa was tabula rasa. It was blank, you know, and they created, the people created the character of somebody like Tarzan to show that Africa do not have houses. We're living on trees, cavorting from one branch to the other. But at the end, when the white man came to that village, he discovered that, look, these people are not just without civilization. They have a systematic way of organizing themselves. You know, and once the white man did not understand, what did he do? He ruptured that community. And that was why Achebe calls it Things Fall Apart. Things did not fall apart until the white man came. And so, literature, for example, is a representation of Africa's social reality, and we can apprehend it from that point.
Thank you, sir. It's as if we should. Okay, let me go back to Honorable Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun. I don't know whether he's there. Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Oyo State, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Yes, sir. Your efforts, they are actually commendable, but there is this concern of authenticity, the genuineness, the ritual components you are removing, the sacred components you are removing in the name of trying to showcase what we have. And along the line, there will be sponsorship. Several companies will come that they want to sponsor. How do you hope to maintain authenticity because you have to commercialize tourism? You know, somebody must pay. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. So we discovered that even most of the dances that we are seeing now, they are not what they used to be. So what are you going to do to ensure that even as you are trying to project these festivals here and there, the authenticity, the originality is not eroded? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes. That's the reason why we involve the custodian, the association of Egbe Oje Parapọ̀ worldwide. Oloje are custodian of Egungun, and they will not do anything that will bastardize or reduce the authenticity of the festival or the Egungun. For instance, the Igbale, that where they believe that where the Egungun will come out from, so should be screened away from public. And that's exactly what we did, that nobody will see until when Egungun comes out from Igbale. And apart from that, we make it to be competitive. We have two types of Egungun. We have fluffy Egungun, otherwise known as Egungun Alari, with different costume. And we have spectacular Egunguns. So, and once there is price tag for different categories, for instance, the one we had last, so we have best spectacular Egunguns. We have best costume Egungun and the best behaved Egungun contingent. So with this, each Egungun will go back and try and improve upon its performance for this year. So without affecting the authenticity of the Egungun. For instance, now, after we had that Egungun for the last week, we have been receiving calls from other zones of the country that come next year, they would like to come and showcase their own culture, their Egungun culture as well. So what we are trying to do is that we are showcasing, we are bringing people to come and see, enjoy, and celebrate Egungun with us without affecting the authenticity and the content that we are giving out. So it is not, and that's the reason why we pep it up with other side attractions like Fuji, like Ibeji, who came all the way from London to come and participate here. And that's our purpose there, is to appeal to the youth so that they can appreciate our cultural values, cultural norms, and they also appreciate our cultural potentials in area of Egungun. So I think, and we are also trying to make sure that we don't compromise the authenticity and the value that Egungun tries to portray. Hello? I can't hear
Hello?
you. I don't know if you are hearing me.
I said thank you, sir, for
yes,
because that's actually why we are here. We have to preserve our culture, even as we try to diversify, even as we try as much as possible to be inclusive. Some things belong to us, and we have to find a way of preserving them.
Exactly.
Let me go back to Dr. Yes, Dr. Tony Ogunshina. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The summary of the goals is that we should be able to protect ourselves socially, economically, and environmentally. We should be able to protect ourselves socially, economically, and environmentally. We should be able to protect the unborn generation. We should not consume everything now. We should give place to women, to children. We should allow languages. We should allow different cultures to thrive. And it is believed that this is how we can actually generate wealth. So I want to ask, in your own opinion, how do you think we can use African performances, African dances, African culture, tangible and intangible, to actually protect, especially the environment, to actually conserve what belongs to us socially and economically? Dr. Ogunshina.
Thank you very much, sir. The art is not limited. Now we have something called ecosystem, eco-criticism, eco-theater. We have what is called applied theater, that is community theater, that will take into the hinterlands, we take them into the community to express, to explain, and to educate them about different policies. Take, for example, you talk about the UNESCO policy. When you talk about UNESCO, you talk about also the government policies that are used to protect our cultural heritage. Of course, there are challenges that we face in this one, but to preserve our culture concerning the future, like I said earlier on, what happened in the past is what we are building on. Definitely, there are digital challenges that we are facing now with all the TikToks and every other thing. But that notwithstanding, we foster understanding using the art. We create a shared experience. We share our experience. Like Chinua Achebe said, we need to let our children know when the rain started beating us and where we are coming from. So we use our cultural custom, storytelling, and symbols, which we can convey in the traditional form, we can convey in the digital form to preserve all these customs and arts. I know of an organization in Lagos that they are using cartoon to tell stories, like all those stories that were told us in the past. They use cartoons now. There are some other ones that they use animations, especially in music, like that Ijoya. That's an animation that was used to tell the story. So if for us to be able to safeguard all these narratives, number one, what I think that we can do is continue to preserve and promote, and that is by telling the story of where it is coming from. That's a kind of preservation, because if someone forgets his history, that person is ready to die. And the performing arts too, we showcase all these our cultures and traditions. And I know of some countries that government support them, especially Oyo State now, they are coming up, yes. Lagos State, they had this Black cultural heritage that they bring everybody together, and they spend a lot of money. In South Africa, they also spend money. They don't devote a lot of money to the arts. So if they can let the government patronize the arts more than what they are doing now, and then the custodian of culture too are not bastardizing that culture, because some of them are fast eroding. They are going away. They are, how do I say it now, repackaging it. Yes. So when we create a shared experience, Doctor, am I answering your question to start with?
Yes, yeah, yes, ma. Yes.
So diversity. Art helps cultural diversity, because when you do your presentation in arts,
or should we do it like this, ma? I want our listeners to actually ask questions too, because time is fast spent. So let's just be at alert in case we have questions from the listeners out there. Do you have any questions for these eminent individuals who are vast in culture?
While we are waiting for the question, I want to say that there are some policies of framework that we believe can work. Like I made mention the other time, the UNESCO framework for culture and arts. That work plan is from year 2023 to 2026. And that one focuses on cultural identity and development and cultural infrastructure. Then we also have this framework that aims to improve access and inclusion in education and culture. Yeah, from our secondary school now, we have CCA, Culture and Creative Arts. That is to prevent the erosion or to prevent the negative packaging, that the negative cultural narration that we have. So all these cultural policies in Nigeria can also be used to affirm our cultural values. Thank you.
Yes, okay, Professor Abel Joseph, kindly, you are a mentor. From your experience with youth, advocacy, and mentoring, what are the common mistakes youths make about African culture and its diversity? How do they perceive it? What are the common mistakes that may eventually boomerang? Thank you, sir. We can't hear you, sir. We can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Yeah, very quickly. In Nigeria, for example, we have a problem defining who the youth is actually, because somebody who is in his very late 30s claims to be a youth. And I wouldn't want to go into the debate. Sorry?
I said we have a 65-year-old who is the leader.
Yeah, we keep having them. And we see them coming up as student union executives, even though some of them are already fathers. So we don't know. But the thing is, from my own experience, dealing with young people between the ages of 16, 17, 18, up to like 25, it's a bit of a challenge, particularly for this generation. And this is why I am really scared. I am scared because, one, as an educationist, and two, as a father, the young people these days, they call them Gen Z.
Gen Z generation.
Gen Z generation. What excites us is not what excites them anymore. The things that we held sacred in our own time is no longer what they hold sacred. When you talk about education, for example, it's unfortunate that you have a classroom of about 150 students, and I can tell you without fear of contradiction that only about 20 or 25 of them are genuinely interested in what they want to do. And if you push them so much, they tell you, after all, who school don't help, or they tell you education is a scam. And many of them have misplaced priorities. How is this coming up? It's coming up because there are a number of factors. Parental absence is a huge problem because of the economic situation. People are busy chasing money and chasing so many things that, look, the basic things that they are required to do in terms of guiding these young people, they abdicated their responsibility to teachers. So students or young people these days, they are full of assumptions. And so they are not ready. And those who are ready are being discouraged by their colleagues. They fail to also recognize that, look, there are cultural diversities. There are many of them, for example, who are cultural orphans. What do I mean by cultural orphans? One, they are unable to speak their native language. Two, even the English they claim to speak, they can't speak it very well. So they are neither here nor there.
You are correct, sir.
And so, what exactly do they want to do? And they are the effect of globalization. They are more interested in watching movies and rap music and so on and so forth. And nobody wants to do anything tangible apart from going into movies and going into rap music. And so when you push them too much, and they tell you you're an old man, please, this is not your generation, this is my own time. And so there's a sense of negative stereotype that goes on. And we must check that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun, we have seen a lot of contributions you have added into culture in Oyo State. For example, civil servants, they now wear native clothes on Thursdays and Fridays. What would you recommend for students in secondary school or primary school? Are you recommending that maybe 1 or 2 days too, they will be in a native attire, Kampala, Ofi, or something like that, smartly sewn? Or will you recommend that curtains, for example, in my office now, the curtains are imported ones? Will you recommend that one of these days it will be a policy that curtains in offices should have touch of culture? What will you want to be remembered for as a commissioner for culture and tourism in Oyo State, apart from what you are doing?
Thank you very much. I think, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. We have started. It's just 1 year, 7 or 8 months now in office, and we have succeeded in institutionalize culture and tourism in the state. So we believe that, for instance, we have started agitating that ASOFI should be used. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
That ASOFI should be used as a form of waistcoat for students. Over, they will wear their uniform and they will now put waistcoat in ASOFI that will show the uniform of their school and at the same time showcasing ASOFI. So that is one. Number two, we also working in conjunction with Ministry of Education to resuscitate cultural activities from our primary schools. You know, when we were in primary school, you can attest to that. When we were in primary school, students or pupils were very happy, used to very happy when they are on their third term, expecting the entertainment. They call it entertainment in Ghana. Then they call it entertainment. So, and each group would like to play and come with different cultural display. So we have started secondary school. So we are trying to do same for primary school. And every year, before, if I have the opportunity, every year we are going to have cultural competition where, just like a principal's club or governor's club, club that we used to have when we were secondary school. So where each zone will compete. The primary school, the secondary school, we have primary school category, the secondary school category. By doing that, it will make this youth, especially primary and secondary school students, to be there to our culture. So, and that one is on the pipeline. And we also believe that, for instance, it's also during this administration that I succeeded in getting Sango Festival enlisted into UNESCO Intangible Festival in the world. So we got that. We went to Botswana in 2023 December to defend it, and we succeeded in getting that. The one we had last year, it was under UNESCO. So we are also striving to do same for Yemaja, for other festival, once you are able to internationalize, in quote and unquote, this thing, it will make our youth to have interest in those things that we do. So we strongly believe that we will continue, and anything that they want to do, that we make sure that they incorporate our cultural activities in all their programs. So
thank you so much, sir. Yes. Well, thank you so much. We really commend your efforts in those regards. And we believe that other states in the Federation.
Let me quickly add one thing. Sorry, sir.
Okay, sir.
I realize that you cannot promote tourism without using cultural activities or event activities. The data at my disposal, so that out of 18,000 tourists, both local and foreign, that we are having, coming to your state every day, 18,000. Out of that, 4,006 fall under cultural festival category, while festival or event category has 5,000 plus. So when you add the two, you will see that we cannot but try as much as possible to promote our culture. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, the Honorable Commissioner. Thank you so much. I have often told people that the only product we have to sell is our culture. Every culture is superior at its own level. And the Egungun Festival, whether it's in Brazil, whether it's in South America, it's in North America, belongs to the Yorubas.
Yes.
Just as we have found out. So Egungun Festival, whether it's in Brazil or whatever, belongs to the Oyos. So that is sacrosanct. So I want to appreciate everybody that has been part of this. We are expecting the audience, the listeners, to ask one or two questions before we wrap up this seminar.
So
Do we have anybody from
there are a couple of questions on the chat. I don't know if the people who ask them want to unmute themselves to ask. John, do you want to read out the chat?
Yes, sir. I wouldn't mind reading out the questions. Good evening, sir. Wonderful seminar we're having today. So the first question we have says, is it wrong or alien or anti-cultural to repackage, in quote, culture? Or what is repackaging itself? Or can't culture evolve? So I guess it's about repackaging of culture. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, we can repackage. And it depends on what we are repackaging. Before I continue, I wanted to say something to corroborate what the Honorable Commissioner said. It is said that Ile Latin Rodi. Some of these things that we are talking about
begins at home.
Thank you, sir. So some of these things start from home. In those days when civilization slapped us in the face, when everything white was good and everything black was bad, that is the era that we are coming back to gradually. When it comes to our youths and they look at what we are doing traditionally, that it is occultic, it is not this, it is not that. So the repackaging comes in the sense that it does not lose its originality, but you can add a little bit here and there. If it is in language case, you can subtitle. That is part of repackaging. And then you subtitle in the real way that the originality is not lost. So there's nothing bad in repackaging as long as it is still in tandem. It's still in line with what you are doing. So the second question, I don't know, but there's nothing bad in repackaging, but you have to do it in the way that the originality is not
It's
lost.
actually called branding. You
Yes,
brand it.
thank you.
So yes, because the only constant thing in life is change. But even as you are trying to make these changes, you need to preserve and conserve some aspects. But you must know that art is an industry on its own culture. It's a form of industry. It has to raise funds to sustain itself. So, and as you are doing that one, there will have to have a lot of changes, but they should not be fundamental changes. I don't know whether the Honorable Commissioner has something to say about that one, because he has been somebody repackaging a lot of things now.
Rebranding.
Hey, there's nothing bad in what you said, son. And we also need to understand one thing, that culture, organizing cultural activities entails money, resources. Unfortunately, people are reluctant, and either the company, even the government, people are reluctant in funding cultural activities. So then, if you now want to make people to embrace it, you must make sure that you package it so that you don't compromise the authenticity, and at the same time make it appealing to people. For instance, we started our program 9 o'clock and we didn't finish until 5:30 in the evening. See how many hours. So if it was been just egungun, people will get bored and say, let's go, Jerry. But we decided that intermittently we brought in something to pep it up. For instance, we bring in Fuji. You understand? So we also brought another things that will make people sit and enjoy other things. Why we, in the normal sense of it, it will be Egungun Lawawu now. So let's
Thank
go.
you so much, sir. Thank you for that initiative. That has been very creative on your part, sir. I don't know whether we have any other questions. Do we
Sir,
still have questions?
We do. This is actually my direct question. Yeah, I said I would like to ask the Honorable Commissioner, what is the place of cultural awareness among the youth, particularly towards Oyo State's cultural revival? How do we come in as a young person? Sir, this is my question. As young persons, how do we
Please repeat that question again. Please repeat that question again.
What is the place of cultural awareness among the youths of Oyo State towards this cultural revival that is happening? I joined earlier today, listening to you on BCOS. It was a wonderful one, sir. And I'm trying to ask for myself and others, how do we come in as young persons, as young people, to be able to support and increase the vibrancy of what is going on?
Fantastic. In fact, you have been having people reaching out to us, and I will be very happy if you also can join us, and it will be a very good thing and good news that I'm hearing, and for people who are anxiously waiting, because the youth that constitute about 60-65% of the population will need to focus more on them, so that once they embrace it, we know that we'll succeed in transmitting our culture to the next generation. So I will be. I'm happy to hear that. Please, you are welcome anytime, any day, and you can also spread the gospel to others that who are willing to join us in this work that you are doing.
Thank you so much, sir. Any other questions?
sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Any other question?
Yeah, how could government encourage youth to appreciate our culture? I think we've almost answered that. And how could the
Yes.
religious bigots help to appreciate and preserve our culture? That is not so clear.
That's by
We
advocacy.
we have a question to Professor Abel Joseph. It is clear that cultural awareness gap among youth is structural, stemming from family dynamics. However, how can this gap be bridged?
Okay.
Professor Joseph.
Prof,
Yes,
did
please,
you hear me, sir?
Yeah, can you take that question again, please?
All right. It is clear that cultural awareness gap among the youth is structural, that is stemming from family dynamics. However, how can this gap be bridged?
Yeah, like I said earlier, this is Generation Z. They have a lot to do, and it's apparent that they should hold their destiny in their own hands. What they are doing, what the young people, what the youths are doing today, with the digital platforms is amazing. Just a few days ago, I was part of a program of Kogi Literary and Literary Creativity, where young people between the ages of 13, 14, 15, 16, and 20 converged, to showcase their talents, irrespective of whether somebody pushed them or not. But I want to believe that every young Nigerian, every youth has within him or her immense potentialities. It's just a question of checking yourself and looking inwards and doing what your mind tells you to do. We may not rely on what the elders are doing or what somebody needs to push you, but what they are doing with so many of them are no longer actually looking for government jobs. Do a lot with your phones, and so many people can be creative. There's a ministry for creative, creative economy. So I think that young people can leverage on that, because I am sure that there are opportunities that they can benefit from. Thank you.
And okay, and if I may add, the new media is essentially being controlled by the youths, and you cannot promote culture, you cannot promote art, you cannot promote even politics without the media. The youths, they are actually in charge of the social media, all forms of media now. So I think this is a key area where the youths can be incorporated, because whatever you are doing now, it has to be shown to the whole world, not just Nigerians, not just for domestic tourism, for international tourism as well. And since the youths are very good in the use of the media, I think that area, they will be very useful there. Thank you. Any other question, please?
You are right, sir. I just want to add that not only the media, even the content that is going out, so it must have youth appealing. It must be youth appealing messages. So one of the messages or jingle that appeal to many youth hearts there, and even those in diaspora, was the one that's connecting with our ancestors. And it's our social media youth influencers that we brought together that came up with that jingle. And just to, support what you said, that you are absolutely correct in that regard, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other question before we wrap up? If there are no questions, today we are celebrating World Day for Cultural Diversity for Peace and Development, being organized by the Graduate Research Clinic. It's an online seminar, and it's a privilege for us to have these eminent personalities here. Professor Abel Joseph, Dr. Wasiu Olatunbosun, the Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Oyo State, Dr. Toyin Ogunshina, prominent researcher and lecturer, head of the Department of the Performing Arts at the Lee City University. It's our pleasure to have all of them here. And we believe that after this seminar, we can pick it up from there on issues that we have identified that can actually be addressed in order to make our society actually culturally diverse and to support the creative industry so that the development that we are craving for will be lasting ones and they will not be ones that will affect us negatively. On that note, let me hand over to the moderator. The moderator.
So thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much for the session. We are so glad to have you as our host tonight. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to call on as Mr. Johnson Adegbola had his hand raised for a while. I don't know if we
let's hear him out.
Thank you so much. Johnson Adegbola, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible.
Hello.
You are audible.
Okay. Thank you so much for the engaging section. Okay. It was very educative and informative. This first question, trying to the Honorable Commissioner himself, because there is a program called the
We can't hear you again. Johnson Adegbola,
we can't hear him again. I think I'll just read out his question. Are there possible collaborations with the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, especially in revitalizing indigenous language and cultures? I don't seem to understand.
I think it meant, are there possible collaborations?
Okay. Oh, thank you, sir. Are there possible collaborations with the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, especially in revitalizing indigenous language and cultures?
Yeah, sorry, I
think that can be noted for the Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Oyo State. He has mentioned some areas and he said his doors are wide open for collaboration.
Let the person reach out to us.
Okay.
Let the person reach out to us.
So because of time, yeah. How can I do a further follow-up?
You can. I have his email address. Email address. You can talk to me. I can share his email address with you.
Okay. And thank you so much. And please, may I know your name if I can, message you on LinkedIn, because I'm also visible on LinkedIn. I'm Johnson Adegbola. So you see more of my details as a language and cultural exchange ambassador. So,
my name is Olumuyiwa Akande. I'm the host.
Okay. Thank you so much for the attention. Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We sincerely appreciate all our panelists for tonight, and we're wrapping things up. I would like to invite Mrs. Magdalene for the vote of thanks, and then I'll take the announcement and we'll be out of here. Mrs. Magdalene, can I have you now?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our speakers, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. So today's gathering centered on the theme, protecting rights to cultural diversity and expressions for sustainable development in Africa. And it has been quite an opportunity for us to gain new perspective and insights in furthering the cause of cultural expressions in Africa. First and foremost, I extend a heartfelt appreciation to our host, our panelists, our guests, whose insightful presentations and enriched discussions have deepened our understanding of cultural diversity as tools which can be weaponized for peace and development on the African continent. The seminar was brought to you by the Graduate Research Clinic, and I'm using this opportunity to invite everyone to be a part of us, to be one of the topmost African nonprofit organizations that foster innovative research and collaboration across disciplines, generations, and geographical boundaries, empowering African scholars and professionals to address complex global challenges and contribute to the advancement of African diaspora studies and sustainable development in Africa and beyond. Thank you all once again for honoring our invitation, for participating, and for all your invaluable contributions to the topic today. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would like to say a few things and we'll be out of here. This is the GRC and we foster intergenerational and interdisciplinary conversations and research. So we would actually like the hosts, the panelists, the participants today to be able to connect with one another. Thank God that Mr. Johnson already took a step forward in that. So we would like you to be able to do that. We have the WhatsApp link for the group on the chat box, and we would like you to be a part of us, of what we do. We would like you to be a part of what we do because we have so many amazing things that are connected to sustainable developmental goals. As much as we have this today, we have them coming up by and by, and we would like you to be a part of this. And also, I would like to use this opportunity to invite us for Friday's event. It is the International Day to End Obstetric Fistula in 2025, and the team is actually breaking the cycle of fistula in Africa, policy and strategy pathways. Our focus is Africa, it is Nigeria, it is the diaspora community. And if you have people that you know can be facilitators, can be beneficiaries of the things we do, we really look forward to having them on board. Thank you so much. I would yield my mic to Dr. Oluwatobiloba Adewumi for any other comment, sir.
None from my end. Just want to thank Dr. Akonde especially for his wonderful moderation. And the room will be left open for the next 5 minutes or so people can engage. If you have any question that
And our
wasn't taken.
picture too, sir. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I already took it. Although most people were they don't have their videos on, but I took that of Dr. Akonde with his beautiful cap. Do you want me to take it again? Can we all please put on our videos so I could take a snapshot of those of us here just for institutional memory purposes? So if you don't mind, kindly put on your video.
Dr. Ogoshina, let's have you on.
Yes, thank you,
Professor
everyone.
Abel Joseph is out. Is he out? Honorable Commissioner is out.
Okay, I'm seeing at least 3 people with their videos on. So thank you once again. Yes, Dr. Ogunshina just put on ours. Thank you. It's good to have everyone join us. All right, that's all. Thank you. So, do you want to play that video, John? Can just enjoy the video while we contact and engage each other.
Àkókò ń gbàgbé ìpàṣẹ àwọn ọba. Wọ́n sọ pé àkókò ń.
Another one. No one.
Hello, John, you can end the meeting, or should I end it from here?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Take care of yourself. We'll follow up on the chat. Good job.
All right.